What's up, guys? It's Rick Ginn. You are on the Flip with Rick channel, and today we're going to go over our 12-month, our 2026 wholesaling schedule because you guys need a game plan. And here we are on the 6th day of the month, and some of you going, Rick, how do I get this puppy started? This is the live stream for you. I want you to do me a favor. Use the comments, introduce yourself, tell us what market you're in, and for God's sakes, make a wholesaling friend. Can we do that? If you have a question, the comments is going to be the best place to put all your questions. So this is my 24th year of wholesaling. I'm actually worked on 3 deals, and I got 2 more I'm working on right now. And I actually recorded a series with them, so I think it will be extremely beneficial for you guys. So I'm always working on wholesaling. It's what I do. It's what I love. It's somewhat of an addiction for me. And so if you're new to wholesaling, this is going to be a great live stream for you because I'm going to walk you through the progression of how wholesaling really works. I'm going to show you where the traps in wholesaling are, and I'm going to show you how to get through your first year of wholesaling. The one thing I promise you is you will have struggles. It will not be the easiest thing you've ever done. Actually, it might be one of the hardest things you've ever done. And you're going to try to convince yourself to quit. So if you can just back up and take a 30,000-foot view and understand how the life cycle of wholesaling works, you'll know how to set your expectations. You'll know what to expect in the first day, the first month, the first 90 days, the first 180 days, and all the way till the end of the year. And I'll show you how you progress. And this is kind of like how you guys took, I guess, math. Let's just go with math in high school. You had to do pre-algebra, then algebra. Maybe you did geometry. Maybe if you were super smart, you did trig, a little bit of pre-calc and on your college years. By the way, none of that stuff's going to benefit you in wholesaling. I'm just going to let you in a little secret. So if everybody understands that, if you understand, so many of you guys are trying to do calculus and trigonometry, and you don't even understand how to add and subtract. And this is only because you are hanging around the people that don't speak real estate, don't understand real estate, and more importantly, are never been successful in real estate. So if you take advice from people that have never done it, you are going to get the same outcome with them. So you're in the right live stream. I'm going to walk you through it. I've done this for 24 years. This cycle I'm about to show you, this plan, this 12-month, it really never changes. The only thing that changes is how people try to break it apart. Now, I promise you, I'm going to have people on this live stream are going to be the ones that try to go from, oh, I just want to jump to month 10. Good luck. When you skip in wholesaling, when I show you the progression and you skip, it's going to cost you a fortune. It's like trying to learn how to run when you never learned how to crawl or walk. Does everybody understand that? So I want to walk you through it today, and we will get at it. So I got a lot to go over with it. So what I want to do, I am a visual learner. God, am I visual. And so if you're like so I'm going to write it out. I don't have the best handwriting in the world, but it doesn't matter. I am a very, very proficient at wholesaling, and that's what matters. I've done over 4,000 deals in combination over my 24 years. I promise you, I am an expert in this field. So I want to get you up to par. Even if you're not brand new or if you're just trying to reset for 2026, this is going to be a really good video for you. And so what I'm going to do is attempt to do this whiteboard thing. It drives me nuts, but I think the visual will give you an impact, because just putting up and doing little blurbs on the bottom, it kind of annoys me. My ADHD takes over. So I'm going to do a couple in the beginning just to set the rules and the preface on it, and we will get going there. So those of you guys don't know me, my name is Rick Ginn. I've been wholesaling, as I said, 24 years, and this is the best place for you to start right here. So if you've never been exposed to myself or my son, Zach, a lot younger than me, this is a course that we created out of frustration of the industry, because everybody charges for everything. And I don't have a problem with somebody charging it, but the problem with our 95% failure ratio in wholesaling is because people try to wholesale. The problem is when you pay 7-10 grand to try to wholesale, it massively affects your family. So I only want to work with the people that actually want to commit and do it. So that's why we created freewholesaling.com. You have everything you need there. I've created so many thousands of millionaires off this program. It's not for everybody. If you're not a self-starter, I can't make you wholesaler. But if you will follow it to a T and you will apply yourself, anybody can do it. We have different levels after that, but this is where you want to go to start. So if you're brand new to wholesaling, I put it on the screen, freewholesaling.com. Hopefully everybody has it at that point. Now, before I get into go over my 12-month chart, which we're going to start day one. So if you've never done wholesaling, this is probably the best video you'll watch all year. I know I'm a little bit biased, but that's what it is. So a couple rules that we have to understand. Number one, marketing is the number one skill set you have as a wholesaler. If you're not good at marketing or you don't want to marketing, do me a favor, leave now because you're going to get your butt kicked. Does everybody hear that? The single best, highest skill set you have as a wholesaler is your ability to market to motivated sellers. I'm going to go into more detail on this. If you skip this and you have someone do your marketing for you, or don't worry, they feed it to me, you are in no position to run your business. In fact, you will have more money taken out of your bank account than anybody else. Oh, no, I found this guy or gal online. They just have leads given to them. Ask them if they paid for the leads before you pay for them. Because if they didn't pay for the leads, why would you pay for the leads? Guys, I've tried to outsource all my wholesaling marketing. It doesn't work. There's parts of it that does work, but you have to get educated on how to do marketing. So how do we do that? So let's start off and talk about the rules for wholesaling. I call it rules. You should refer to it as fundamentals, because if you don't get these next items I give you, the rest of my 12-month chart will not make sense. So we are building a lesson plan here. I hate freaking teaching. I ain't going to lie to you. Why? I like doing. Teaching's for people to sit in a classroom and have a theory. In my perfect world, we'd all go out and we'd just go talk to motivated sellers. I'll show you why I said this. I'll show you how I countered it. And I show you how I overcome their objection and make it a win-win situation. But we all have to start somewhere. So unfortunately, we're going to start here in the studio and work our way backwards. So rules for wholesaling. Number one, you already heard me use the word motivated seller. Everybody heard that, right? So if we understand that, then we have to figure out how to move forward. Okay, I'm highlighting some comments and we'll get there. So if you have a question, put it in the comments. That's the best place to do it. So rules for wholesaling. Number one, I like simplicity. The simpler we make wholesaling, the more clarity you have, the better off you'll be. If you're constantly going to question it and beat yourself up, you're going to have to change the way you operate. So wholesaling has been known as the beginner's gateway to get into real estate. Let me let you in a little secret. The best marketers I've ever worked with or have had the privilege to meet all came from a wholesaling background. Yeah, go ahead, look around. Look at the most influential people in the real estate community, and I guarantee you 9 out of 10 of them came from a wholesaling background. Why? Because you can make a ton of money. It is a skill set of marketing and talking and negotiating with people. And if you can master that, it will translate, listen to me, to every corner of your life. Your personal relationships, your health, the relationship with your kids, your wife, obviously your bank account, business partners, and you'll learn how to delegate. How did they do it? They got very proficient in wholesaling, which is what I'm going to teach you today. So let's go over rule number one. So I already gave you the first one. It's not a rule. It is a mandatory statement. Marketing is your number one skill in wholesaling. And be brutally honest with yourself. If you took someone's course and they go, they really didn't address marketing. They just told me go to this company and get these leads. How do you even know what to pay for your leads? What do you know what the return on the investment? And do you know how much time and energy it takes to work those leads? And do you have the confidence to close those leads? And if you're paying hundreds of dollars for leads, you're going to create an unsustainable pressure because you don't know how to close them. So you've got to get in a ton of volume and a ton of practice sooner than later. So let's go over the rules. Rule number one, you ready? ODN. I really like acronyms because I have ADHD, and the more clear I can get anytime I am in a stressful situation, I just put it in my head. ODN. Oh, let me fix this. I hate this part of, it's on a timer. Okay. Save. Let's go. So ODN, it's not a cartoon character. It's nothing like that. Whenever I'm struggling with any type of real estate deal, specifically when it comes to wholesale, I just go, is it ODN? Is it ODN? Or is it ODM? All it stands for is this is the avatar for the ideal wholesale deal. Let me give you an example. Is it off market? Check. Why is off market so advantageous? Number one, you don't have 3 million people pound. They'll still pound them on other lists. But if it's on the open market, say MLS or Zillow, every person in the entire country and the world is going to pound them. Realtors are going to pound them. Wholesalers are going to pound them. Fix and flip, subject to people. It's endless. So the smaller I can make that property visible, not by me, the seller, the more likelihood I have of taking the deal down. Off market is, honestly, if it's off market, it's not a requirement, but man, is it a great sign. Because when they're on market, they're typically asking for what? Retail. And they only usually care about price. So if it's off market, that's a great sign. D, we're limited on time. So I'm just, I just tell you to call it. D stands for direct to seller. Why? Because you have to get the story behind the symptom of the real estate. And if I can't talk directly to the seller, I can't invoke emotion. I can't use my empath skills. And it's very hard to get a deal because once you get the story, like if a property's vacant, you've got to get the story why it's vacant. Did somebody pass away? Did somebody lose a job? Did something terrible happen? And it's not that I like to hear negative stuff. I want to help someone. Wholesaling is your ability to help people out of situations. And usually the real estate is their biggest asset. And when they don't choose to have the house vacant unless you're really rich and you own a bunch of houses, then that's a choice. And that's a choice they can financially commit to. 95% of the world doesn't have that choice. Either they live in the property or it has to produce income. And if it doesn't do that, I find the story behind it. Now, once I get that story, I'm in great shape. I can't get that story if I have to go through a realtor because the realtor, they basically act as the seller's like lawyer. I cannot disclose that information. And they are going to, any material facts, they typically don't share it with you. They don't hide it, but they don't share it with you. There are exceptions, but for the most part, if I can talk directly to the seller, it's an easier communication. Think about this. If you had to share something with, say, your mom, is it easier just to tell her direct, invoke your emotion, make eye contact? Because most communication, 70% of it is outside your verbal words. It's more about physical. That's why if you negotiate belly to belly, it's so much more powerful. Or you can tell your siblings to tell your mother, and I promise you, they're going to put their spin on it. And that message isn't going to get across as clear. Now, imagine if you had to go multiple people through real estate agents, lawyers, title companies. Guys, direct to seller, once again, it changes how you get to the story behind the symptom. And that's what I want you to understand. The end is actually the most important one. And you have a choice. You can try to buy houses from people who want to sell. By the way, everybody who has a property on the market, on or off, they want to sell it, right? Here's the difference in wholesaling. Lean in. If I could get out of my chair here and just lean in, I would do it right here. I'm reaching as far as I can. Is you need to find people who need to sell. Maybe the property is going through probate. Maybe they're in foreclosure. Maybe it's a tax delinquency. Maybe the house is vacant. Maybe the house is trashed. Maybe it's just a really bad situation. Those people have urgency to get the property sold sooner than later. Take a pawn shop, for example. Why would somebody with a $20,000 Rolex walk into a pawn shop and sell it for $8,000? Why? Because they have something more pressing at this moment and they need certainty. The only way they can do it is do a quick speed exchange, and they give a great price in exchange for speed and convenience. That's all wholesaling is. It's just the biggest asset. So instead of us going to garage sales trying to flip Pokemon cards and do all these little trinkets, we go after the big boys. Why? because you can make the most money doing it that way. And the best part about wholesaling is it doesn't require capital. It does not require your own money. I know everybody wants to tell you it's the only way you can do it. Keep in mind the people before you, people like me, this is how we did it to dig ourselves out of a hole to make our lives better. The difference with me and Zach is we don't tell you can't do it anymore. You just have to pay attention and understand what state you're operating and read the laws. I don't want anyone to get a law. By the way, you're never going to get arrested for wholesaling. That is the biggest farce out there. If you commit fraud, there's already laws on the books for that. If you forge someone's signature or do anything like that, or you make people do things they don't want to do. So we got to understand wholesaling is 100% legal. And it was a path for me to get out of a financial bind and to honestly create net worth that I didn't even think was imaginable. And I want to teach you the basic skill sets to get there. Because if I can do it, I promise you, a guy with ADHD that had a C average all through school, I've learned quickly that the smartest people are by far not the richest people. Often the smartest people work for the people that create the most business. And that's what I'm here to teach you. So if you don't think you have the aptitude or knowledge, great, you're perfect. You're a good fit. I would score mediocre on an IQ. I'm smart. I just learn differently. I've been told my entire life that. And that's why wholesaling is such a perfect fit. So if you have one of those weird acronyms, so let me give you a profile on me. Full on ADHD. I've had it my entire life. I just didn't figure it out, honestly, until my late 30s. And instead of taking medications and going to all sorts of medical help, I just embraced it. And I already know what my downfalls are on it. You can't put 5 things in front of me. And I have to, I get excited. But that's the energy that helps me engage people and get deals done. So if you understand that, if you have it, it's not a disability. It's actually, here's the crazy part. It is an asset. The fact that you learn differently than other people is a blessing by the man upstairs. And if you understand that, you can do anything you want. But, oh, Rick, you do not understand. You don't understand. You think differently. You're different. Sometimes you're brilliant. Other times, you're lost in space. Why? Because I'm bored out of my mind to teach about techniques that learned 70 years ago. And I don't know how even kids get through modern day school. It is so outdated. I don't even understand it. So I got off key. See, there's my ADHD. The other part is I'm like a deep, deep empath. When somebody puts a problem in front of me, I just want to figure out how to help them, how to solve them. And sometimes I have to guard my time because I will take a stranger off the street and help them out. It's just my nature. It's who I am. And my son's a lot like that, but you have to have limits when we do things like this. So, and an empath is absolutely perfect for wholesaling because you want to help people out. And remember, the more people you can help, the more money that you can make. So I'm an empath, ADHD. I have a highly addictive personality. So I have to go out and choose the things that are going to benefit me the most. If you don't, the bad things will choose you, and they seem really easy, and they'll be a nightmare in the long run. So I've tried everything wrong up till my 30s. I found wholesaling, and it's changed my life. And I want you to understand that. So guys, ODN, off-market direct to seller that needs to sell. Those are the 3 perfect avatars for a wholesale deal. Now, if you hit all 3, your odds are very high on getting a deal. If you get 2 out of the 3, you got like a 50-50 shot. And if you get 1 out of the 3, they're usually very, very rough results. Don't believe me? Go ahead and check any deals you worked on, anything you do. The 3 deals I'm working on, right now in my business, check all 3 of these boxes. And one only has 2 out of the 3. When it goes 1 out of the 3, I typically have to spend 6 to 12 or 18 months to follow up with them. That's why we recommend systems like X Leads to help you with the follow-up. And guys, there is a ton of money in the follow-up. Not everyone's going to be an ODN right off the bat. A lot of times, a person who is on the edge, something will change, time and circumstance, and we go with that. So if we know that, here's the next one, and then we're going to get into the timeline. You ready? God, freaking time flies here. The next part is once you understand the rules of wholesaling, You have to understand what all sellers need. All sellers need this. It doesn't matter if it's a retail deal or a 50 cents on the dollar wholesale deal. I promise you this. All sellers need this. You know why? Because I've had 24 years to suck this data up, and I am a walking data center for you, and I'm going to save you. So if you're just getting into it, what are the two? Let me ask you guys, you put it in the comments. What are the two things that all sellers need? And then we're just going to dive into this timeline. What are the two items that every seller of real estate requires? And I promise you, if you don't satisfy these two things, you will not get a deal. Now, it's extremely important when it comes to wholesaling, especially any type of real estate investment deal. Does it relate to retail? Yes. So I'm seeing on this, how do I put these? So I see on there, I got cash, I got motivation, equity. There's two things. You guys are missing it because you're overthinking it. Remember, you're thinking from the seller side, not our side. Name, money, accountability. Keep going here. I'm looking. Speed. So guys, I've done this so long. I'm talking about two human elements that are required for anyone. Why don't we back it up? If you're going to do business with someone, you want to transact, maybe you even want to give them your money. Listen, the money is a guarantee. Like, we're not going to use money because that's how we exchange things. So outside of a money, oh, we got it here. Okay. Let's see who was first on this. Trust. Let me ask you, do you do business with people you don't trust? No. If you're talking to someone and they're like a scumbag, a sleaze, or they're like doing all sorts of ridiculous stuff, it's a problem. So if you cannot if you cannot overcome and gain a seller's trust, it doesn't matter what you offer. They don't trust you. Let me ask you, it's not like I go to the coffee shop, but I got to have some trust that they're going to put a cup of coffee in there that I can actually swallow and enjoy. If it's a crap cup of coffee, I'm never coming back. So trust is number one. That's perfect. Awesome. Okay. So how do we get trust? Trust is simple, guys. Trust is you have to connect and you have to bond with people. You don't have to like hang out with them for a month. But for me to create trust, I have to do what? I have to connect with them. And you're going to have to build rapport. It's simple as that. Now, if you try to skip the trust part by not building rapport and making instant offers without a relationship, you are not wholesaling. You're strictly a cash buyer. And I call you a real estate investor. It's just the God honest the truth. If you try to make lowball offers without any type of trust or relationship, you actually create distrust. You put a sour taste in your seller's mouth, and they will never trust you no matter what words come out of your mouth. So number one, you have to trust them. If you think they're a shark or they're going to rip you off or not even solve anything, no one's ever going to work with them. So that's number one. Number two, what's the second thing? Once we establish trust, what is the next thing that we have to do? And we'll put comments on the screen here. Bill, okay, so reliability. So what's going to be the next thing once I establish trust by building rapport with them? What's the next thing we really have to do to get business from that seller? And it's not slick sales talks. Capable's part of it. But guys, you're thinking from your side. Think as a seller. Keep in mind, if I want to go fishing, I have to think, act, and be a fish. Where is the fish getting its next meal from? By the way, if you guys say price, and I appreciate all this. If you say price, we're not wholesaling. Obviously, everybody wants a price, but understanding that people need to sell. So, man, this is perfect. Right there. There you go. Solution. If you do not provide a solution to the seller, they ain't doing business with you. And I will tell you this, you have to have trust and you have to provide a solution. And here's the simple fix to doing the solution. You guys think you're going to read books, go to freewholesaling.com, learn the fundamentals of wholesaling, but here's how every solution works. Ready? So you see how God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth? You have to listen. You have to listen extremely carefully what the seller's saying. And here's the really cool part. Me having ADHD, if I'm focused on one-on-one, I don't have this contraption out anywhere. I hyper focus on what a seller sells me, and I listen. What is the most important thing they want to accomplish? And honestly, that question I just stated there, you can use that. Mr. Seller, what is the one thing you want to accomplish with meeting with me today? And if they go, oh, it's price, I already know where that's going. I probably didn't do a good job qualifying. Hey, if you can get me out of this house by the end of the month so I can live with my brother in Phoenix, Arizona, and I can just get out from this problem, that would be a miracle to me. Bingo. I put that in my CRM, but I am going to use that as my predicator to make my offer because they want solutions. And here's the best part is every seller provides their own solution. You just have to listen to it. And if you think you're going to shove a solution down their mouth that you think fits you and not them, you're wasting your time. So once I establish trust, and if you don't have trust, don't even go into the second part. You actually have to provide a solution. I know that sounds crazy. I see all these failed wholesaling deals as like all you did was going with like a low price and you didn't solve their problem. Remember, our price is going to be, we are not going to be the highest. Anyone who teaches you to be the highest offer in wholesaling sucks at wholesaling. The whole premise is to what? Buy low, sell medium. But most of you guys take courses where they teach you how to buy medium. How do you buy medium? You let somebody else do your marketing for you because you're going to pay a huge premium. And then you try all these ridiculous dispositions, programs to sell it for retail high. It doesn't work in wholesaling. You're speculating, and I promise you, you are going to get smacked on it. So awesome answer. I appreciate that. So once again, guys, we have to establish trust. How do you do that? Build rapport. And we have to provide a solution. How do we provide a solution? We use these 2 ears. Once we have these 2 ears, we just confidently repeat back what the seller wants to accomplish, and we can accomplish that in exchange for our offer. Do you understand that? But most of you lead with price. And remember, there's going to be an exchange of money to get this done. But if you make the money the sole focus, you're not focusing on the seller's solution. And if you're looking for OD and off-market direct to seller that needs to sell, these sellers want one thing. Once they establish trust, you offer a solution. What do you think the final thing is? If you can solve it, that most sellers want that are in a jam when they're facing foreclosure. Say they have a probate of a property that's a real problem and the bills are mounting up. What does the seller want? Go ahead and put it in the comments. I'm telling you, what do sellers want? Once they have trust, once you provide a solution, what is the emotion? I guess it's the emotion, the mindset the seller wants with your exchange, because this is it. Obviously, you have to be confident. You have to deliver. Relief's close. Relief's very close. I'll put up the comments here. Well, I mean, so it's close to relief. What do sellers think from the seller side? Relief is close. There we go, right here. Certainty. You guys are starting to learn. Certainty. Sellers want certainty. Have you ever had a problem so overwhelming in your life that, like, if, say, your mom or dad or a friend or a family come and go, listen, I'm going to solve this and I'm going to get this done and you can move on with your life. What do you give them? You give them certainty. When you give them certainty, you can get anything done with it. Okay. So that's the basics of it. Let's get in the schedule, because you got to understand everything I'm going forward with it is predicated on you understanding the fundamentals of wholesaling. And if you understand the fundamentals of wholesaling, we can move forward with the schedule. If you decide to skip any of the rules I just taught you, honestly, you're wasting your time. I'm not even going to hide it from you. The people I meet that struggle the most in wholesaling don't understand the fundamentals of wholesaling. If you want to understand the fundamentals of wholesaling, I've already told you the easiest way to get started, freewholesaling.com. Now we're going to shift this up a little bit. We are going to go to visual. I'm a visual learner. I get annoyed putting up notes. Honestly, my ADHD kicks in and I get bored with it. So we are going to switch, and I'm going to do my best I can with the handwriting. So if everybody understands that, if you have any questions from this point going forward, put it in the comments. I will star them. We'll come back to them. Maybe I'll try to answer some of them live while we do it. And I'm going to walk you through on how this all works. Now, a couple rules. Here's what we're going to do. Let me put this up, and then we're going to switch over to the board. So I want to show you what a wholesale marketing pipeline looks like, because to me, we got to be visual. So I don't know about you guys. I'm a very visual learner, and it's easier to understand. What's a wholesale marketing pipeline? So a pipeline, think about this. If you want to get oil from Alaska piped into, I don't know, the Dakotas, you have to have a pipeline. And how do pipelines work? You have to try to fill them up to capacity. And it takes a while to get oil from Alaska to wherever you are, say the Dakotas, say Delaware. And what happens when we first turn on that pipeline? Nothing comes out. And that's where most of you are going to start. But you guys expect like 100 million barrels of oil when you turn that pipeline. It's going to take a while for that oil to work its way down. Wholesaling is the exact same way. You guys turn on your wholesaling pipeline and you expect 10 deals in your pipeline. It doesn't work that way. You got to prime it. You got to get it started. Think about if you're getting in a race, everybody starts at 0. And then they got to go to 1 mile an hour, then 2, then 3, 4. Here's the problem. Most of you, just like I did the oil diagram, you want to go from 0 to 100. It's going to be out of control, and you're going to wreck in the wall, and you're going to burn out. So let's do a visual. Let me switch over here, and let me figure out how to do this. Oh, here we go. Let's see. Okay. So I can't, the crazy thing is, I don't know if it's my ADHD. I can't look at the screen and draw it. So I got to figure out, okay. Oh, I got to do a new one. Okay, hold on. See, this technology crap. Okay, hold on. Let's figure this out. Okay, we'll do a new create. Okay, I see how this works. Okay. Hopefully this works. I got to be in that window to do it. So here's how a pipeline. So think of this as like a pipe coming in. And so the first level of any wholesale pipeline is going to be what? These are what we call your prospects. This is much harder than it looks. Okay. What are prospects? Anybody know what prospects are? Anybody want to share in the comments what a prospect is? You have to understand this, otherwise you're going to get killed. Let's see here. So we're priming the pump. So remember, this is the initial oil that's going into your pipeline. So when we do prospects, you have to understand this. Prospects, guys, is basically going to be, well, let's put it on the outside. These are going to be your lists. So you have to create prospects. So an easy way, I was taught a prospect is someone that you are combing over that has a probability of having a problem. How do we do that? We're going to go over that in grave detail. So you have to start with a prospect. I also call them suspects. Think about this. If I'm going to do a police lineup and the guy was 6 foot and had red hair, I'm going to gather up everybody in the area that's around 6 foot, close enough. Maybe they're 6'2", maybe they're 5'8", and you put them in there and then you let somebody else do the lineup. Now, from here, we go down to the next part and we'll draw another line here. So guys, pipelines work like this. They have to flow through. So these are our filters. The next thing is we turn our prospect into what? Leads. And what's a lead? A lead is anyone who shows a sign to work with us. Does everybody understand that? What do I mean by that? Yes, I'm interested in selling my house. Yes, I'm in foreclosure, something. How you decide where prospects are the leads, your prospects is always going to be much, much bigger than your leads. So if I get 10,000 prospects, I might get 50 leads out of it. I'm okay with that. Do you understand how the funnel works? They should get smaller as you move through it. Now, on the next one, I know my handwriting is just a little bit rough. The next one here is once we get a prospect, we get a lead, we're talking to them. This is the entire qualification set. And the next one is going to be your appointments. Now, this can be on the phone. This can be in person. At this point, we're just trying to figure out where we are close. We're usually within 5% of the number, and we're making it work. Most of my deals start at a high number, and I work my way down through the qualification process. And the last one you're going to have on here, basically, we turn appointments into contracts. And then eventually we come down here, and then we turn this into money in our bank account. Does everybody understand the process? You go from a prospect to a lead to appointments, either virtual or in person. You write contracts, which you got to write a lot of them, and then you turn it into cash in your bank account. Are there any questions on this part? This is how a pipeline is structured, and you have to understand how this works. So I'm going to go over here and check questions real quick. Awesome. Okay, let's keep moving here because this is the important part. Now, this is everything that we did on here. Let me take this off the screen. And that is our pipeline. So the next one I want to do, this is where the rubber hits the pavement. We're going to do our whole, actually, no, I'm going to do one more graph. The wholesale marketing graph. See, I get excited talking about this. And how does that look? Okay, let's jump over and do that. Let me clear this. Let me clear this screen here. Now I got to go down here and I got to click new, create. Okay, so hopefully you guys can see my screen. I get the checkered background, but it works for me. So the next one is we're going to create a graph. And I don't know why my ink is in red, but I think it's fine. So let's create a graph. And the bottom is going to represent time. Everybody understand that? And this side is, I don't know how to write sideways, so we are going to call, well, I can't write sideways. Maybe it's my ADHD. I'll do close as I can sideways. Leads. Now, the reason why you want to understand this graph is because you guys are starting where? Right here. This is where you start. Okay. This along the way is your journey of wholesaling. These can represent months. Some of you guys, it represents years. And this is your endpoint where you want to go. Now, remember, I have a pipeline. Okay. And the first thing I did is I have to start. Well, the pipeline, I just undid the faucet. Some of you expect to be all the way up here with leads. It's not realistic. Remember, you're going from 0 and you want to get to mile 2. So here's how it's going to look. You do need a ton of leads. I'm not going to lie to you. But I'm sorry, you need a ton of prospects. Your leads are going to be dismal at first. Why? You're trying to figure out the journey of wholesaling. And you might even go backwards a little bit here. And then eventually, if you stick in it and you don't quit, an amazing thing starts happening with your leads because you start building up systems and you start doing follow-up, and eventually it works. But you guys, a lot of you expect to be right up here, right off the bat in month 1. Do you see how much time it takes to work these leads? You don't know how to talk to people. You don't know how to overcome objections. You don't know how to write contracts, and it takes a little bit of time. Okay. So this is what we call the sacrifice in wholesaling. Now I'm going to warn you guys. Here's what a lot of you are going to do. Someone's going to tell you, hey, why wait the 6 or 9 months to build up your pipeline? I can sell you leads right here. Okay. So say they can sell you leads and you say you're getting them for even $10. do you really think you're going to have the skill set to close all these people? No, you don't know what to say. So no matter what money you spend right here, it's going to frustrate you because you don't know how to do it. If it was solely about getting leads and buying leads, I would put you on PPC, PPL. I would dump you in the direct mail. Why? Because it's going to give you a ton of leads. You're not going to know what to do with them. And it's the God honest the truth. You don't understand marketing. And so what I want to do is walk out of this and understand you are going to go through this journey right here. Do you see this? And eventually, if you put in the time and the consistent effort and you show up every day for wholesaling, you get more leads and you kind of know what to do with. So I'm on year 24. My biggest fear in wholesaling was to run out of leads. Have I run short on leads? Yes, but I've never ever ran out. And now I'm way up, like somewhere like way up here. And I don't even have to, like, I still spend money on leads, but even if I stopped spending leads, I'd make over $1 million a year just on referrals of everybody I work with. So if we understand that, you understand the journey of wholesaling. Now, what I want to do right now is we are going to go in and we are going to do the wholesale pipeline. Now, we're going to specifically walk through and go through month 1. Jesus Christ, time flies. I'll stay here as long as I have to, through month 12. Understanding the first segment, you ready for that? Is all going to be about marketing. In your first 6 months, your sole focus should be on how to market. Because let me tell you this, if you don't master marketing, don't worry about the rest. You don't have to worry about dispositions. You don't have to worry how to write contracts. If you don't get enough prospects that turn into leads, you are out of business. Everybody understand that. I hear this a common complaint, but when I ask them, how many sellers did you talk today? How many marketing pieces did you put out? How many contracts did you write? I always get like a song and dance. I wasn't born yesterday. I understand how this business works. So let's jump in and let's do this. I got to switch this. So let's create a new one. And let me find, I don't know what happened to the white one. Grid color. I don't know. Graph paper. I don't want blue. Let's just do the transparent one. Okay. Create. Okay. So hopefully everybody see my screen. So let's go on. So we are now going to do a visual. It's one thing to put up like slides and stuff like that. It's another way to just show you how to visually do this. So what I'm going to do is try to build the whole board out here. I don't know how I'm going to do it because it's a lot of information, but I got to start as wide as possible. I know it's a terrible graph, but bear with me. Okay. And then what we're going to do is we're going to have two sides. One side is going to be for time. So what we'll do is start with, let's do month 1. I don't know how to color code this. And so we're going to draw a line all the way across here. And when we start out doing wholesaling, remember, you have to master marketing. So what do we need? We need motivated sellers leads. We need people that really need to sell. This is why I don't teach you to go to the MLS. So the first thing I'm going to teach you how to do is you're going to go to freewholesaling.com. Why? Because 98% of everything I'm telling you on here, I already put it in there. It's why I created the course, so we can answer questions and be more effective when we do these. Now, the first thing you're going to want to do is a little strategy we call government lists. Why? Because a lot of these motivations are already built in for you. And the really cool part is the lists are free. It doesn't mean they're easy to get. Now, I have 9 different lists. You can go to freewholesaling.com. I'm going to give you the specific ones that I absolutely love. Code violations. I'm going to use acronyms here because I'm going to run out of space. Pre-foreclosures. And these are all activated by your government at the courthouse steps. Your tax delinquencies. And then I'm going to add one more on there, driving for dollars, which is going around and looking for ugly houses. Now, if you want to expand on this, go over to freewholesaling.com. I go into grave detail how to do every one of these. That's why we created the course. Why do I have you focus on government list? I'm not here to waste your time. But most of you, if you don't do this, you wind up going on MLS. You wind up just calling realtors. And this is why all of these courses fail, because you're just chasing people around that want to sell a house. You need to find people that need to sell a house. Government list are basic code violations, or people that haven't kept up with their house. Their grass is overgrown. There's a blue tarp on the roof. You kind of get the picture, boarded up windows. Pre-foreclosure is the foreclosure list. Why we say pre is we want you to catch them early. If you catch them early, you have options. You catch them at the end of the auction, it's usually a nightmare for all parties involved. Tax delinquency means they're not paying their real estate taxes. And if they don't take action, they will wind up on a foreclosure list as well. That motivates them. And driving for dollars, just looking for visual signs, guys, I can't overstate this. It works. Are these super sexy? No. But we all need to start somewhere. Some of you guys try to jump like right into these very advanced strategies, and it's crazy. Now, this type of marketing, so you understand on it, is basically called outbound marketing. Now, the good news about outbound marketing is it's relatively cheap. Bad news is it requires a lot of effort and hustle muscle. And most of you don't have money, and this is where you have to start. So let me check and see if I have any questions. And so this is going to be your first month. And all of it, we have the strategy, even from day 1 to day 30, all inside of freewholesaling.com. I can't make it any simpler for you. So do you see short sales up there, Terry? No. Guys, you cannot wholesale short sales. This is how you wind up committing a crime. And there's people sitting in jail right now that are doing this stuff. So you don't want to do that. I used to flip short sales. They changed the rules. I left the game. That was in 2013, guys. We are 13 years after the fact. And anyone wholesaling a short sale property, I promise you, you're committing a crime. I don't think it's a terrible crime, but according to the paperwork you sign, and if you do that, they can get you up to 10 years per infraction. It's ridiculous. So it'd be like sitting in a Venezuela jail. It's stupid, but understanding it, guys, wholesaling a short sale, it's a no-no now. It's just not worth it. And there's so many restrictions. You're going to violate them, and you're going to sign a disclosure document saying you're not going to do them. And if you do them, it's a federal crime. It's a problem. And you do not want that. So, okay, let's keep moving here. Perfect. Okay, let me get back in here. So let's go to month 2 now. I'm trying to draw a line here. Okay. So now we're going on to month 2. I think you guys get the picture. Do I have to put month in front of it? Now, every one of these, I want you to understand, this is like your math in high school or even like grade school. Every one of these build on each other. So what you're doing in month 1, when I tell you go to month 2, you still have to do everything you do from month 1. Does everybody understand that? So I'm going to draw little arrows here because you have to continue doing this. This is the hard part because we're going to add. So this is chapter 1. We're going to go to chapter 2. Hey, Rick, what do I add for this? The next technique I'm going to add is just reverse driving for dollars. Why? Because it freaking works. Is it easy? No, it's a pain in the ass. I ain't going to lie to you. This is basically when you take a sticky note, put it on someone's door, and then you're going to key in on code violations, pre-foreclosures, and tax delinquencies. You're going to find those lists. You're going to find the address. You're going to put a note on there and say, listen, I got a quick question. Give me a call, Rick, and you can put your virtual phone number on it. Why do we do it? Because it gets a high response rate. You put a note on your door, you're answering it. Remember, marketing is about mastering it. The only way you can master marketing is to induce a client to contact you, a prospect, legally and ethically. Period. So if I give too much info, hey, I buy houses, oh crap, it's an investor. I don't want to deal with them. I just want to talk to him. Think about this. When you walk into a clothing store, how many times does a sales, hold on, how many times do you walk into a clothing store and you're trying to figure out what to buy? You obviously have intentions in the store, and a salesman or woman comes up to you and goes, "Can I help you out with something today?" Now, I'm not here to teach you sales, but if you ask somebody a yes or no question, you get a no from me. No, I'm good. Dude, guys, we can't even ask for directions. Do you think I'm going to ask help from a salesman to a point? So a good person, so what's the problem with that person? Number one, I don't trust them and they don't have a solution for my piss poor wardrobe. What do you think I'm in the store for? Nobody sits there and shop unless you're trying to kill something while your wife's running up your credit card. It's just the honest to God truth. So attack the matter differently. Does everybody understand that? Life is simple. If I had a clothing store, I would teach all my salesmen to walk up and go, "Hey, listen," I would grab an outfit and go, "Hey, this would look great on you. What size are you?" See, I'm not asking a yes or no question, and you're almost obliged to answer my question. And once I get in that, remember that volley skill I teach you guys on how to negotiate with people? This is where it all comes into play. But when you ask me, "Hey, do you need help or assistance?" 9 out of 10 men are just going to say no. Women are a little bit better about it, but that's just the truth. Because most men, we don't even know what we want. That's why we're in the damn store. So we have to figure out how to ask quality questions. So understanding that marketing is about inducing curiosity in your prospect for you to progress them towards a final sale. If you screw it up in the beginning, don't worry about the end because it's not going to be there. Everybody understand that? Listen, man, how many of you guys walk into a clothing store and the person asks you, how can I help you? Men just say, "I'm good. I'm good." Now, if you go back and ask me, "Hey, what size are you?" Most good salespeople will give you a size smaller to kind of compliment you off the bat and just warm you up. Remember, what are they trying to do? They're just trying to connect with you so they gain trust. You guys have to learn from this. It happens in all businesses. Okay, let's keep going. Let's keep going. So now we're going to add a reverse driving for dollars. Remember, you got to keep everything else going above it. I'm also going to add, ready for this? This one sounds really crazy. Physical bandit signs. Now, bandit signs in a way is technically our inbound leads, but I like this strategy. And here's how your bandit signs simply work. It is an 18 by 24 piece of corrugated plastic. Guys, I've made millions off bandit signs. I love people make fun of bandit signs. It means they suck at it. And listen, if you don't have a lot of money and you can't afford to get them printed and stuff like that, do what I did. Go find somewhere where you can buy 15, 20, or 30 blank signs. You can go to your big box retail stores. You can go to a local sign company, get them blank. Do not go get them pre-printed. They're just going to take your money away from them. I used to own I bought a print shop just to produce bandit signs. I invested a ton of money in it. I can't believe you people that dropped a couple $1,000s to get 200 or 300 signs printed. It's ridiculous. Go get a black Sharpie marker, the big ones in the box store. They're like $2 or $3. And you're going to do 3 lines, one side only. And it simply says this: sell your house today, any condition, any situation, and put your phone number on there, your virtual phone number. That's it. And I'm going to give you the most mind-boggling stat. Answer your phones live. It's a hell of a lot easier than chasing them. And if I can get you one deal and put 20 grand in your pocket, you'll thank me later. I'm trying to get you guys jump-started to get your first wholesale deal. But some of you guys are trying to figure out how you can do 100 deals in a year. Why don't you do the first deal? So this is where we start. So now in month 2, I add the bandit signs, I add the reverse driving for dollars. The reason I do that, because the first month step is going to be very taxing for you, because you got to keep these lists going every 30 days. What am I doing? I'm giving you volume. I'm giving you exposure to motivated sellers that need to sell. And I'm systematically ramping it up to do slightly more advanced strategies. See, if you tried to turn this all on in the first day you did this, you guys would all quit on me. And I absolutely know that. Now, let's go on and let's move on to our next phase, which is going to be month 3. And this is where we kind of put it all together. So this is month number 3. Now, once again, guys, I'm going to keep telling you, you have to do all these same things and keep bringing them down. Everybody understand that? It doesn't mean, okay, I'm going to stop doing the reverse dragging for dollars and the bandit signs, and I'm just going to do whatever on month 3. That's not it. So we're still doing outbound here. And you know what? I'm going to run out of room. Of course, I'm going to run out of room. Okay, I'll try to condense this. So on this one, we are going to add in what we call niche lists. Let me put it on here. Niche lists. Now, you don't have to necessarily do everything in this order, but what we're going to do is we are going to add arrest records. By the way, all this is in freewholesaling.com. We are going to add fire damage properties. How do I do that? I go to my fire station and I get those, and you'd be super nice to them. And then we are going to do water shutoffs. Now, you don't might think it's a lot, but remember, if I got to add all 3 of these, this is starting to build momentum. And you're starting to learn how to identify motivated sellers and how to work with them. This is a progression that money cannot buy you. It doesn't matter how much you spend with your coach or your program or whatever community you're part of. If you don't understand the basics of finding motivated sellers that are off market, direct to seller that needs to sell, none of this is going to work. At this point, I'm also going to add, and I'm going to start putting my name out there to potentially do JVs with people that need help. And you are going to have to bring extreme value to the table. Rick, I don't even know how to wholesale. How am I supposed to do that? Here's the reality. Help people. I'm going to be honest with you. I did a lot of JVs deals because I helped other people and I went out of my way to help them. So far out of my way, I will do anything to find. If I can't find you a buyer, don't pay me. And I did it over and over. Now, I specialize more on the motivated seller side, but I learned quickly the value of JVs. You got to start forming these relationships up front. Now, this is where we're at the 90-day mark, and it goes by very, very quick. So what we have to do is understanding at this mark, after 90 days, you should have 1 to 2 deals under contract. If you're working it, it's almost impossible not to do that. At least 1. And I think the goal for most of us here, let me put my mugshot on here so I can see you guys, is to get your first deal. So I'm spelling out the first 90 days. Does everybody understand this? So I have Andre here that says, in Michigan, without a realtor's license, we can only do no more than 5 wholesale deals. That's funny. I've done at least 30 deals in the state of Michigan. I don't have a license. Please give me the law and put it up there. This is where, tell me the actual statute that restricts you to 5 without a license. Because I'm just telling you, Michigan's one of our markets. We have no problem doing deals there. Is there paperwork you have to do? Absolutely. But doing flat out, I mean, like even Joey's going to prove it here. And I appreciate the comments. I'm just telling you, we have to separate fact from fiction. So put the statute, put in the comments, and we'll pull it up and we'll go over it. I love Michigan. It's one of the greatest states, in my opinion. Like, I know all my partners hate when I say that, but it is wonderful. It's wonderfully priced. Cold as hell right there right now. I think we spoke earlier. If you want to put it into sellmypaper.com, I would love to help you out with it. Let me just keep going on this. So let's get back to what we're doing. We got to keep moving here. My God, this time sneak by. So this is your first 90 days. It's the hardest first 90 days you do. And what's a realistic expectation? 1 to 2 deals under contract. I'm calling that like a bare minimum. Does it may take you 100 days? Yeah, you might get it in day 3. God bless you. God bless you. I think that's absolutely amazing. Now, I'm going to add to our next phase here, which this is where it kind of gets fun to a point. Now, if you can survive the first 90 days and get 1 or 2 deals under contract, I'm proud of you. Does everybody understand that? So now we're going to go over here and we are going to go over month, basically. What I do, I've already done, we're going to do months 4 through 6 now. Yeah, we're going to add months together because remember, once again, you got to bring everything down. Watch this. You bring it all down. I hope the visuals help you guys out because some people just like, you understand why we teach you how to start where we are because a lot of you want to just jump down and go to month 6. Oh, good. Sounds sexy on paper. You're going to get killed. Now, in this stage, you have to start probates. Now, you can do it earlier. You could technically start probates month 2, 3, but it's mandatory by 4. Does everybody understand that? Why? They're the highest profit with the most motivated sellers. The problem is there's just not a ton of them. They're very limited. And if you have an account like X Leads, you can do amazing things with it. Now, I'm going to tell you right here, once you get 1 or 2 under contract and possibly have some cash flow coming in, this is when I get my X Leads account. Why? Because this is a point where we're going to do some paid stuff. This is where we can take a few dollars and invest in it. But here's the problem. Most of you guys do the paid and you jump up at the very beginning thinking if I pay someone 3, 5, 7, 10 grand, it's going to cut me to the front of the line. It's bull, guys. It's never going to happen. You're still going to have to go out and find a motivated seller because the only fix for someone you got to pay like a high dollar amount is they're going to tell you, oh, just use the service and they'll get the leads for you. Well, if I've already told you marketing is the #1 skill set, why do you think you can skip it? If you skip it, you might get lucky, but I promise you, you're going to wind up right back here at the beginning of the line trying to figure out how marketing works because you can't pay someone for a lead if you don't understand the value of the lead. Where did the lead come from? How did you derive the lead? It's just on this form. Were they cold called or was it a online form? What was the date the lead was derived? Is this lead compliant? Am I going to get sued for doing this lead? Almost all of you ignore that data. And we are in a world right now that's so litigious, you better know that information because if not, eventually someone's going to call you to the plate to it. Now, the next thing I'm going to teach you, and I've always taught you to do this early, I don't want to over, is digital marketing. This is where we go online and we do bandit signs. We do what we call bandit comments. By the way, all this is in where? freewholesaling.com. I promise you, it is all in there. And that's the place to start out doing it. Now, if you understand how that works, I'm looking at your comments here and I promise you, I'm getting to them. So if we understand how the digital marketing works, once again, it doesn't cost them anybody. It is time consuming. We're building on this and we have to keep doing this. The next thing is you have to seriously start networking at this point. Why? Because now you have skill sets. You can offer values to others. And this honestly is where you can really, really start to ramp up your JVs. But when I say paid, you can do a basic X Leads account, a basic one for under $100 a month. What's that give you? It's real simple. It gives you 25,000 leads that you can harvest every month. That'll keep your pipeline full. In the beginning, you had to do government lists. Why? Because if you don't have any money, then I need you to get proficient to learn how to make money. And I want you to understand this, guys. Please understand this. If you don't believe me, go watch a show like Shark Tank, billionaires that make offers on companies. What's the #1 skill set they teach people? Show me how you got sales from your product. Show me a demand. Show me that you have the aptitude to do it, and then I'll figure a way to scale you and make more money. The people they want to avoid with all plagues are the people who develop their products. They come up with a perfect brand name. They have this incredible packaging, and they'll tell you, how much debt do you own this? Well, I mortgaged the house, $500,000. I took a loan from dad for $300,000. And then I did whatever, the angel lift or whatever, where they try to raise money, and I got another 400,000. Okay, how much have you actually sold? Can you show me a proof of concept? We sold we sold 1,000 units, and how much each unit sold for $5. Okay, so you sold $5,000 in sales. Get out. Like, you have to prove the concept of wholesaling. And how do I prove the concept? Guys, go back to this. Prove the concept. Prove that your ability. Prove that you really want it. Because if you think you're just going to, if I thought you could just pay me 10 grand and I'll show you exactly how to do it, I would do it. But I've been around the block. I've been here 24 years. It doesn't matter how much you pay me. You pay me 100 grand or you do it for free. You still have to prove the wholesale model. And mostly, we already know wholesaling works. The question is, will you work? And that's where we're at this point. Now, here's the good news is, at this point, I got to create another sketch pad because I'm running out of room. But no big deal. So at this point, hopefully you guys can see my screen. You're at the 6-month period. And that was a lot. And you go back and this is recorded and you can replay it. So now where does my next 6 months look like? So at this point, honestly, you should have at least 3 deals done. And the superstars have 5+. If you want a barometer where you're at on the timeline, this is it. If after 6 months you have not contracted one property, you are not following the correct advice. You are not doing the fundamentals. I get it. Everybody has different capacity. Everybody has different skill sets. And everybody has different markets. But after 6 months, I'm calling you to the table on it. Because why? If I've got 3 deals done, I've probably made 30 to 50K. And now we have to figure out, how can we start scaling this business? Because Rick, I can't keep this pace of pulling all the government lists, doing the driving for dollars, doing reverse driving for dollars. Dude, I agree completely. So let's look on how the next 6 months will look, because if you don't have a guideline of where you're going, you don't understand how to grow your business. And you're going to let all these other marketing companies tell you, I can show you how to scale your business. There's a reason they're a consultant. If they're so damn good at pulling leads, why don't they have their own wholesaling business? I'll tell you why. Because they can make a crap load of more money selling the leads than they can actually do in wholesaling them. Think about it. So let's go. Let's do month 7 to 10. Because this is where you kind of go, hey, where am I going, Rick? I get it. I'm going to have to bust my butt in the beginning. So if we're going to do that, is my first thing I'm going to do is, I should be doing at least a deal or 2 a month at this point. My next step is going to be our cold call centers. Now, you can pick whichever center you want to do. It doesn't matter to me. We recommend, if you work with us, we show you how to do it for just an insane rate. I'm not even going to say it on the air because you guys are going to ask me to honor it. And I can only do it with the people I work with Join M2M. But we do cold call centers. And the reason why we do this is because, number one, if you guys decide to do cold calling on your own, and by the way, if you do it, I bless you. But the reality is most of you don't know how to cold call. Most of you don't know how to pull the leads. And number 3, you're going to pay a VA $6-7 an hour to figure out how to do it. We get down on the floors how we do it. And then you're going to have to manage them. You don't know what to ask them. And it is a 98% failure ratio. And so here's what happens. If you use a cold call center, on average, it's about $1,000 a month. Now go work overtime in your job, do whatever you got to do. But if you do cold calling, on average, it's going to cost you about $4,000 of your own time. So this is what we call the trade for play. Go work some overtimes, go take a weekend shift, whatever you do. $1,000 is going to get you what? A 40-hour cold caller. And on average, it should produce you 40 to 50 leads. Do you see the word leads? So if you cold call, they understand you got to give up about 160, 180 hours of your time to do it each week. And so what's your time and money worth? I don't want you going broke doing it. But if we could deliver inside your X leads account 40 to 50 leads, and here's the best part is they're exclusive. Guys, we used to do in-house cold calling. It's mathematically doesn't work. And you're typically compliant on the leads. What do I mean? If you derive your own leads and hire someone to call on behalf of your company, and you have a recording of them calling on behalf of your company, not only you make sure it's exclusive, you're not being sold like 30 other people buying the lead. You know the date it was originated, and here's my favorite part. You get an MP3 file. Why is that important? Because number one, I can prove everyone that ever comes after me that I derived the lead myself. That's the key. Number two, I can get the temperature of the seller. I call on all of them. I don't let the MP3 roll me off, but I've been doing this 24 years. I can connect with the seller so much easier if I have a vibe of how fast they talk, what's going on with it. But most of you will buy, what do? You try to go to these third-party companies. They give you a transcript. There's a reason for that. And guys, do you understand if you don't derive your own leads, you're probably going to have issues in the long run. And by the way, you can scale this whatever you want. So if I wanted to go and get 2 cold callers, then it drops down, I believe, to $1,800 a month. And now you're getting closer to like 100 leads. Do you see how you can scale this? But the key is you have to be able to talk to people, which leads us to our next part on this. This part, once you get past 7 months, is all about learning how to negotiate. But so many people in this business will teach you that you have to be this incredible closer. Guys, we don't close anyone. We guide people. What do I mean by that? Let me simply share this with you so you understand this. If you don't figure out how to market to people, don't worry about closing them because you're never going to get there. And so many programs out there now want to teach you how to be a great closer and show you how to do it. They're trying to compensate for their lack of ability to market by being this incredible closer. And I'm telling you, marketing far outweighs your ability to close. Because if I'm looking for people who need to sell a house, I need to earn their trust. I need to provide them a solution and show them I can confidently help them out and get it done. Give them certainty I get it done. So if I skip the marketing process and I get crappy leads or leads, I have no idea if they're compliant. I have no idea if I'm going to get sued. Now I feel like I have to be a realtor and I have to sell them. And by the way, if you're going to get a great wholesale deal, you can't sell anyone because the deal's never going to stick. So all you people that have deals falling apart is because you oversold them and you really didn't address the seller's problem. You just focused on price. And if you understand that, you can solve anything you want in wholesaling. Let's go back to this. Does everybody understand this? I can easily do a cold call center. Now, what else can I do with this? Once I have, at this point, oh, I'm in the wrong screen. The next thing I'm probably going to do, oh, I'm on the wrong pad, is I'm going to upgrade my X Leads account. And even if you go with like the X plan, you basically get 65,000 leads you can work a month. Why is that important? Because I'm scaling, right? If I'm scaling, I need volume. I now need to exchange money to gain back my time. You can do everything with this. Also, inside X Leads, you can run a bird dog program. Why? Because I can give out 10, 5,000, 3,000 leads to people on Zach Discord, on people on our school group, the 62,000 people. In exchange, if they can find me a motivated seller, I will work with them and split the deal with them. It's a win-win. They don't have any money. You're providing a solution. Also, you can go out and collect so many JVs doing this. It is a huge win-win. You get comps, you get your e-signing service, you get a go high level, the most robust follow-up that you get with AI. Guys, it is absolutely endless. And this is only month 7 through 10. Now, let's wrap up and let's do the final part of this because this is where Um, I said I'd do this on one, but I lied. I can only fit so much. So now we're talking about months basically 10 through 12, right? So remember, we're going to add everything we did before and we're going to bring it down. I know that sounds crazy, but now you're in the full scaling, and this is where you're going to consider hiring other people. Now, once I added that cold call center, I have really found a way to get motivated seller leads and getting them really. Now I'm pumping that oil through the pipeline. So what am I going to add? Direct mail. Why am I going to add direct mail? Because it has a proven ROI, ready, of 5 to 6 times. It's 100% legal. I don't get sued. I can't be sued because I'm 100% compliant, and it works. Does it take time and an education? Absolutely. Me and Zach can help you out with that. But I'm telling you is I'm going to teach you how to make an investment. And people that tell you that direct mail doesn't work means they don't understand how direct mail works. I've been doing direct mail for over 21 years. I never stopped doing it. It pays so well. And I teach you how to do postcards. I teach you how to do a one-stop shop. And I teach you how to pull a list, how to put a marketing plan together. And how do I do that, guys? It's simple. Everything I do on that is taught through my program. I've taught my partners how to do it. I've taught everybody how to do it. It is simply, if you want to check it out, it's in our M2M program, and it works really well. Guys, a lot of people give, I don't, anyone who puts shade on direct mail, they just suck at it. Did you know that direct mail accounts for 70% of all wholesale leads? Did you know the biggest wholesalers, they rely heavily on direct mail? Why? Because it works. Is it boring? Yes. Does it seem methodical and slow? Mail? Yes. But it works. Does everybody understand that? And then from this point on, once I do that, this is where we have more leads and we know what to do, is we start to hire people to replace us. And this point is always keep yourself as the acquisitions manager until you got so much damn money, because the person who comes in, the most important skill set you have is basically doing the negotiations. And at this point, as I said, we're mastering negotiations now. Why? Because we already figured out how to do the marketing part. If I get better at my negotiations and how to close people, I can put my marketing, my negotiation together. This is where you get incredible wholesalers, guys. And who am I going to hire first? Well, I'm going to use all the AI that we teach you. How do I do that? freewholesaling.com. And then I'm going to hire people to help me with all my office work, contracts, everything like that. I'm going to teach you how to get a transaction coordinator. And then eventually, once you become so proficient and you do training systems, you can simply create an acquisitions manager. But that's the last one you do. And so many people, you guys want to do it first and understand why you aren't making any money. And guys, this is where you get up and you get going, and you can easily do 5 to 10 deals a month. Now, it takes work, and it's never going to be exactly 5. It's never going to be 10. You could have a 0 month in there, but you need to come back with like a 15 count month. And it's so important you understand how to do this, because at the end of the day, guys, you have two of your biggest skill sets in wholesaling are simply this. You ready? I put it down here. Where is it? You have to master marketing first. And then once you master marketing and get through month 7, you can then master negotiations. Those of you who think you can just skip marketing and go straight into negotiations, God bless you. I've never, ever seen it work, ever. And those of you who think you can replace all your marketing and just outsource companies, PPL, PPC, you won't last. I promise you won't last, because no one to date has shown a return on investment. And when people don't share the numbers with you, it's like going to Vegas and going to play on the slot machine. You just got to keep pulling. If 300 people pull and like 10 people win, that's not a system you want to be on the other side of. Now, if I own the casino, God, I want that all day long. But I'm understanding you guys got to master marketing. And if you don't master marketing, don't even worry about negotiations. It won't work. So Here's a good question. How long does it realistically take to build a seven-figure wholesale operation with a full team when only focusing on running the business, not being the business? First of all, I've never seen anybody run a wholesale business that didn't run in it first, meaning they didn't operate it for at least 2 to 5 years. This whole thing where, like, I know it sounds super sexy to have a big team. And don't get me, I've been doing this 24 years. I have a team. It's not a huge team. Why? Because you don't need it if you do this right. So how long does it take, honestly, for you to get up and running and make $500,000? You're going to have to give up 12 to 18 months of your life, and you're going to have to work in every department. Now, I did wholesaling my first 7 years. Don't be me. Honestly, you can 2 to 3 years, you can be there. But you've got to understand it. Wholesaling is not a business like, by the way, wholesaling businesses are never sold. They're worthless without the operator. It's the biggest scam I've ever. I'm gonna, I'm gonna, I'm gonna, I'm gonna, I'm just gonna buy a wholesaling business, have people run it. You'll get killed. And honestly, that goes for any type of business you do. You can't just. You have to understand how the money works, how the business flows, how to keep employees busy. And the reality is you got to make it profitable first. Once you master it, then you can start unwinding on it. I just showed you a glimpse of the first 12 months. The idea, by the 12th month, you should be hiring employees to help you with some of the workload. And you should do the acquisitions manager last, and you work your way out. I did it way too long. I was stupid. I had control issues, and I had to actually learn how to delegate, which is one of the problems of ADHD, by the way. We don't trust anyone. And if you understand that, we have to figure out how to do it. So to get a consistently seven-figure business running without you in it, it's every bit of 3 years. I'm sorry. It's just the truth. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to lie to you. So do me this favor, just check out joinm2m.com and it'll answer all your questions, because honestly, we don't take anyone as a credit card. We take people that actually want success and want to go through the lead process that we share on there. So because we will actually want to partner up with you. We fund a lot of deals. We do a lot of JVs. I definitely would love to work with you guys on it. So let me see if I had any other questions on here. So I saw this question earlier. What's up, Tyler? I'm currently in Croatia playing basketball. Very interesting. I have a deal about to be locked up with a listing agent, but I don't have a buyer. Also, the owners are ready to get the property off their hands. So I like they get their hands off their hands. I'm not crazy about stuff that's on market with a real estate agent, but if you want to share any of the numbers at sellmypaper.com, I need a little bit more information on that. So good stuff, Lo, guys. So a couple announcements here. Number one, welcome to 2026. Number two, the long anticipated version 4 of X Leads is coming out. It's going to come out January 12th. Dude, you want to be part of this. I don't like to hype stuff up. We have technology on there that's never been seen before in wholesaling. Now, the only way to make sure that you get today's current prices is make sure you have an active X Leads account. It's not a threat. It's just a fact. Nobody offers the value we do. It's an all-in-one wholesaling software, and you get all your marketing. You can do all your comps. You can run all your AI automations on your follow-up through our CRM, which is through Go High Level. We're the only ones that are 100% transparent about it, because you can't beat the system that they have. Then you get the e-signing service. You get everything built in. You get the email, and you get all the AI integrations with the follow-up systems. I think texting is absolutely amazing. And we have so many things we're building inside of X Leads, but version 4, be around for January 12th, because there is a big release coming on it. And I'm excited about it. We're doing deals off of it now. We've been testing it for 6 months, and we are ready to release it. And you guys know we test everything before we put it out there. So make sure you have an X Leads account to avoid any type of increases we do for this. And the people that are signed up with us will be grandfathered in. There's no exceptions. And anybody knows when we first rolled out X Leads, I still honor some of the crazy prices. It's just a reward for being with us. So Guys, this 2026 is going to be a bang up year based on the deals I already have in my pipeline. I'm super excited. Think about your pipeline 20 years down the road. Think of old Rick 24 years later. I had to start just where you started. I just gave you a blueprint from month 1 all the way to month 12. Don't obsess about the timeline. Obsessed on your actions, on focusing on getting deals. Take the action, you will get the result. If you only focus on the result, you'll skip doing the action, and we got to get started. So, guys, make 2026 your best year. Stop talking about it. We're not talking about New Year's resolutions. We're talking about getting it done, and I'm excited. So, January 12th, make sure you have your X Leads account, and me and Zach are going to walk you through it. You're going to love it. Nobody else has these features. It's going to be absolutely amazing, and we're going to, guys, offer you a deal that you just can't say no to. So, if you already have an X Leads account, especially one of the premium ones, I'm not going to say anymore. Jesus, Zach's going to kill me. I appreciate you guys. We will be back. I'll be back on Thursday, 5 p.m. Eastern. I appreciate all you guys. Guys, January 12th, X Leads going down version 4. Make sure you're there. I'm going to share a piece of technology that is just unbelievable. I can't believe we're even going to release this. I'm excited about it. But guys, you got to learn the fundamentals of wholesaling. Go over to freewholesaling.com. If you got value from today, do me a favor. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. I appreciate all of you guys. Stay safe. Let's start this year out banging. Let's do it, man. I appreciate you guys.